Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another of Quizical's Guides 2 with me, Quwizical, and today we are looking at tile tracking. So, what is tile tracking? Tile tracking is a method, a completely legal method, that many players use to help give them an advantage throughout the game so that they know exactly which tiles are unplayed. And this is really important because when it gets to endgame, you will know exactly what is on your opponent's rack. And because of that, you are able to accurately plan your endgame and even win because you know exactly what your opponent holds. And never underestimate the power of knowing that. But also, tile tracking can be used mid-game as well. For example, you can work out, say, if you're holding the last case tile, or whether, you've got the last S, E, blank, the equivalent of a K tile, but you can use that to your advantage. Or, for example, maybe you're holding the letters to the final hooks for words. So, tile tracking can really be used in a variety of ways. And what I'm going to show you today involves looking at all the different options for tile tracking sheets and just showing you what's out there. I've already explained why it's important, and hopefully this will help you maybe try and tile track in future. So here's my first example of a tile tracking sheet. It's pretty simple. Everything is laid out. Every single tile is there. It's all in alphabetical order. You've got the blanks. You can even designate the blanks. It's pretty much standard. I mean, I really like designating the blanks on my own score sheet because for me, I don't want to have to consult another piece of paper or my opponent if I forget what the blank is. So writing it down for me is a really good idea. If you prefer doing it this way, great. If you don't, there are plenty of other styles. Like this one is pretty similar, but but it's vertical instead of horizontal, and you can't record the blanks, so there's nothing stopping you just putting a note next to them to say this is the blank. Ooh, number 3. Number 3 is a completely different design. It separates out the vowels and the consonants, and also the power tiles, and what this allows you to do is to get a good idea of the vowel to consonant ratio that's left in the bag. I don't want to be sat there during a game counting every single vowel and every single consonant on my score sheet when I can just look at the type of tile tracking like this and literally just see, yeah, it's about even, or yeah, there's far too many vowels left or something. But also this kind of tracking sheet is great if you have like a marker pen, so you can just completely blot out the letter so you're not accidentally like, oh, did I count that letter by accident? That can happen, and has happened to me many times. But this is just another style you can use. Number 4 is pretty much similar to the first one, except the colours are inverted, so it looks a bit like the third one that I showed you. Number 5. Vertical too, but separates out the vowels and the consonants and the power tiles. And number 6. Number 6 is really different. I'd never actually seen it before, but it actually marks... You're actually able to mark how many tiles have gone. So that's also really useful because you know exactly how many's in the bag without having to actually count the tiles in the bag. Which is pretty neat. And also, it will help if you've realised your tile tracking's gone wrong, which there's no shame in because mine still goes wrong, and I've been playing so long and I've been tile tracking so long, and it's really bad. But this one even has like the last 20 tiles highlighted in grey, and that's typically when endgame starts. I've discussed that in another video. It's just one of those things you learn. But anyways, summary for the video. The most important thing about tile tracking is that you can't be afraid to get it wrong. Like I said, I still get it wrong, and I will always continue to get it wrong. But the best part about it is that you're actually doing it. And you know, it's going to take an extra chunk of time to mark out every tile. Or if you get it wrong, you're going to have to sit there and maybe redo it or go over the board again. But the advantages are just so great that not doing it really puts you at a disadvantage. And you'll probably realise that every single top player out there tile tracks. So if they're doing it, it's got to be the right thing to do. Secondly, which style of tracking is best for you? I showed you 6 different styles of tracking. There are plenty more out there. I use my own personal design score sheet. That may be something you want to do too, if you want to combine styles. But so long as you find one that works best for you, then that is the best way to go about tracking, because you don't want to be like getting confused all mid-game when you realise you've got some dodgy tracking sheet. Thirdly, how are you going to use your tile tracking? By this I mean, how are you going to put it best to use? Are you going to only use it when it comes to endgame, or are you going to use it to keep track of your vowels and your consonants, or maybe even who got what tile? That can happen too. But depending on what you choose to use it for, or you can use it for all those things, will really help you in those aspects. And you'll realise how invaluable it is to have it. And point number 4, where endgame is used the most, it is the best way to win an endgame that is tight. Knowing your opponent's rack means you can predict their every move, so long as they know the same words as you, of course. But being able to predict all their moves and just block them or catch them with the cue, it's just so useful that I don't know what I would do without it. So thank you for watching this part of Qwizical's Guides 2. I hope you enjoyed it, I hope you learnt something, and please join me next time for more of Qwizical's Guides.